What's going on, fellow A-plussers? It's your host, Adam Perez. We are back once again for a brand new episode of your live viewer questions. That's right, guys. We are tackling your live viewer questions from this past weekend's episode of A-Plus Hero Report from October 9th. There were quite a few questions that we certainly had left to do after our 3-hour show. So we are here to go ahead and answer your questions, doing a little bit of a pre-recording for you guys here as I managed to get some time with Stuart. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful Monday evening here in Texas. It's about 5 o'clock where you're at, right, Stuart? And we've got, I don't know how many questions we've got, but let's go ahead and just start diving into some of these questions. Again, if you guys ever have any questions on where to submit your live viewer questions to, again, feel free to go over to our main YouTube page, click on that community tab. And usually every Wednesday or sometime after that, we will definitely have your live viewer question post up, and then you just go ahead and drop your questions. Last time, Stuart, I do believe we left off on good old Nicole Robertson. What's going on, Nicole? It's definitely good to have you here. Let's see here. Right off the bat, hey, y'all, hope you're all doing well. So this past Monday, we got from Hasbro that 30th anniversary of Power Rangers will be 2 separate projects. Cosmic Fury itself and a possible MMPR reunion special, which I think sounds very cool. I think this will allow David Yost and Walter Jones, alongside other MMPR veterans who may confirm their return later on, to have more breathing room instead of having everything in Cosmic Fury itself. Perhaps both David or Walter, or just David himself, may appear in Cosmic Fury to take care of business with that team, considering Lord Zed will be the main villain. And with the anniversary special itself, there could be a chance that Yen might actually be involved somehow as part of the tribute to Trini, if that's still on the table. This makes me very excited for the next coming year. Really great time to be a Power Ranger fan right now. And I feel like I echoed those sentiments before over on Twitter and even answering some of these live viewer questions before. It just feels like a very good time to be a Power Ranger fan, especially when it comes to 2023, as we got several projects in store, Stuart. I do want to ask you, now that we do have a clarification here of the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers having 2 separate projects, one for Cosmic Fury and then a 30th anniversary special, what are the chances that you think we'll see David and Walter appear in Cosmic Fury, or just David and maybe Yen themselves? Any thoughts or theories in regards to that?
Given that David Yost and Walter Jones seem to be in New Zealand a little bit, seem to have arrived in New Zealand a little bit earlier than everyone else, I wouldn't be surprised if those two specifically made like a cameo on Cosmic Fury, and they did that to like kind of set up the 30th anniversary special as something different. So you can kind of like, again, going back to the whole having your cake and eating it too, I feel like you could have kind of a cool thing to play with there. So I think there's a good chance. I am really happy that I was wrong, because I was so sure that the 30th anniversary was just going to be like a one-off episode of Cosmic Fury, and I'm happy that I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I'm happy I was wrong too, or at least I had no idea what was going on. It felt very much like the MMPR special had sort of gotten kicked to the curb a little bit. We had Austin St. John with the legal issues, Amy Jo Johnson kind of being pretty forthcoming about not necessarily being involved, JDF making the idea of, his retirement a possibility. It just felt like everything was crumbling down around us in regards to like some of the ideas and projects that Hasbro had in mind, and not seeing them come to fruition was certainly kind of worrisome. But this revelation, or at least them, Hasbro confirming that they still have plans for these 2 projects in the works, and getting the opportunity to see Walter and David there, makes me extremely excited. And it does make me wonder what's going to come first. Are we going to get the MMPR special? Are we going to get Cosmic Fury first? How's that certainly going to work? You mentioned the idea that you think, with David and Walter being in New Zealand relatively early, and I don't even know if I'm trying to remember, was Steve Cardenas at Power Morphicon store? Do you recall seeing him there?
Yeah, he and I believe Caitlin Sutherland were there
Where
too.
we're
That's
there
her name, right?
also?
The other Peak Ranger.
Catherine. Yeah, Catherine
Oh,
Sutherland.
Catherine Sutherland. That's what it
Um,
was. Yeah.
I do wonder if maybe some of the OGs got an opportunity to head to New Zealand first and start doing some filming before Cosmic Fury. So maybe that means they're out there already. And maybe that's what's gonna come first before anything, which wouldn't surprise me because there is a part of me that thinks when it comes to Cosmic Fury that yes, we probably will get David Yost. At least that's what the assumption was from the Illuminati article when they first announced his return, was that he might have a one-off in the season itself. And I think that would be a really great introduction for the Yen character to the Cosmic Fury team. So I'll take a stand here and say MMPR special first, where we get the introduction to Yen, and then Cosmic Fury we get a David Yost and a, I'll say, a Yen cameo. I don't know if we're gonna get Walter, but we might, because it did look like they were kind of on the set of Cosmic Fury when they made their announcement. So you might be right, Stuart. We'll have to see.
So you're kind of going with the assumption it'll be MMPR special, then Cosmic Fury.
Then lead into Cosmic Fury. Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
why. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just I for me it would be cool to be introduced there and then have the full on story continue into the season itself, but I'm cool with whatever they decide to do, but yeah, I don't know. You would do it the other way around?
I don't really have a preference. I just think it's going to happen the other way
Other way
around.
around.
But yeah, I'm kind of like with you. I'm cool with however they decide to do it.
Let's see here. We also got Dino Knight's Fight for Your Rights. Talking about Caron's legacy. He says Caron becoming Pink Ranger will always be so satisfying. From her being forced into the Princess of Evil to becoming a Power Ranger is one of the best stories in PR history. I know Andros would be proud. The fact that it was a super duper last minute plan C choice blows my mind. The last Galaxy writers were writing by the seat of their pants and just worked so perfectly. I love that she had the best character growth in the entire franchise, which was a happy accident. Is that true? Is that, I didn't know that came together last minute.
Yeah, because originally they wanted to get the Pink Ranger from In Space, but like there was an issue like of how much she was underpaid. I think she was actually getting paid. They offered her less than how much like the other actors from Lost Galaxy were getting paid. So she ended up turning it down.
Oh,
And
Cassie?
yeah,
The
yeah,
girl, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, he actually goes on to say, he says, "I'd like to mention that originally Cassie was gonna stay on
oh
as
yeah.
the Pink Galaxy Ranger, but contract negotiations fell through. Patricia Jolie didn't wanna stay on if she was only gonna be credited as a guest star and paid less, so producers had to look for someone who was already established, and thankfully, Melody Perkins, returned as Carone was amazing." Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I did not know that, and I learned something quite new today. So thank you for that information, Dino Knights. Let's see here. The most talented man alive. I suck my own balls is here with today. He says, I know the episode of Power Ranger SPD when Kat only became a ranger for one episode because the morpher she borrowed from Supreme Commander Birdie had a time limit for only 1 hour. That had to do with Kat's counterpart in Decker Ranger, who chose not to be a ranger the entire season. Disney was too cheap to pay for all new original footage of Kat as the Cat Ranger, which would have been a huge help during the finale. This and Ryan being the first American made exclusive Ranger as Titanium Ranger were some of the reasons I'm 100% on board with Cosmic Fury going full original footage, except for the Megazord footage, which does take place in space. There's so much more creativity without having to worry about editing and matching Sentai footage. Real quick for the Decker Ranger stuff, we were doing Decker Ranger reactions for More Phenomenal, and I unfortunately stopped. I think I was like at episode 20 or in the 20s, I think, when I stopped my Decker Ranger watching. I really want to go back to it, man, because I was having such a freaking good time with that series. I truly was. I loved all the characters in there. They were really, really impressive. So I'm glad you wind up bringing Decker Ranger up. But yeah, I only recall Cat. I'm trying to remember if I even recall Cat morphing, um the Cat Ranger morphing by that time in Decker Ranger, or not by the time I dropped off. But yeah, it's been a minute since I checked it out, but I'm glad he brought that up.
Yeah. What's even funnier is there was a period of time where they thought they weren't even going to be able to do the Omega Ranger because Disney was so adamant on no more Rangers. All right, you already got more than enough, and they basically were like looking at the stock footage and they're like, well, there's no way around this. We have to have a sixth Ranger or a seventh Ranger here. So the way around it was just making him the glowing orb that we see in SPD.
Oh,
So that's why they didn't have like a body actor for the Omega Ranger, is
wow.
because Disney literally told them, "Hey, no more Power Ranger actors."
Man, talk about being cheap. Goodness, Disney. But I am glad that he brought up the fact about the original footage. And I think that's what we've been screaming to the high heavens for such a long time is like, I definitely understand the connection that we have to Super Sentai footage and Power Rangers. I mean, Power Rangers wouldn't exist without Super Sentai whatsoever. And so for it to not rely on Super Sentai footage definitely feels strange in some type of way. But I think they've done such an amazing job of really using less and less of it and fully embracing the concept of original footage. And I just think when you're able to do that, I think the stories have gotten better. For Power Rangers, the less and less that they use Sentai footage, and I think you can see that in Beast Morphers, you can see that in Dino Fury, especially Dino Fury, and I think we're really going to be able to see the full fruit or the fruition of that coming to life with a 10 episode Netflix series because I think they're really going to dive into the freedom and creativity of not only what Netflix allows them to do, but even lesser Super Sentai footage than what was in Dino Fury. So I'm really excited for it. Let's see here. What else we got? Good old Power Ranger Legacy. We got a Trey and Gold Zeo powers theory. You guys' questions and theories get longer and longer each episode, guys. We gotta learn to consolidate into like a paragraph or something. Explain what you want to say better. I have a theory about Zeo Gold Ranger powers and why Jason had trouble maintaining them all the way until the series finale, based on what I saw when I watched through Zeo a while ago. While Trey was Zeo Gold, he rarely had any issues controlling the powers until they needed to transfer them to Jason back in A Golden Homecoming. This was most likely due to his training to be Zeo Gold, and there was also the possibility that Trey was a bit of a glass cannon. One battle that he got hurt was enough to not only demorph him but also split him into three forms. So my theory is that the Gold Ranger powers are both about enhancing Trey's physical and mental capabilities to fight evil and keeping him together as one being. He says, I recall that in the final episode, the solution that Trey came up with was to transfer the gold powers to Jason back to himself. The Gold Ranger powers appear to be an advanced alien version of a support system for Trey. It is highly likely, considering the fact that we never saw Trey morph on screen and that his body in some way was highly unstable. So the Triforians had used the gold Zeo crystal to develop three equal parts of the crystal for all three versions of himself. And when forming his ranger suit, which also brings up the question, is Trey a Triforian super soldier? Perhaps another time after I inevitably rewatch Zeo in like a year or two for nostalgic reasons. That's pretty cool, Power Rangers Legacy. I didn't know that you revisit those episodes as much as you do. That's
um,
interesting theory, though.
yeah.
Let's see. We got Morgan Hutchinson. What do you think of the news of Wonder Woman 3 skipped a script already written? Jenkins had confirmed that the final scene of the trilogy had already been written and that production could be around the corner. Do you feel hesitant that Patty Jenkins may be the writer again for Wonder Woman 3 along with Jeff Johns? I know many people had mixed reactions to Wonder Woman 48 because of the whole wishing for another storyline. Oh, I see what they did there.
Mhm.
Though at least the box office did good enough due to being a limited release than to streaming. And I think Warner Brothers paid them handsomely as well for even spawning a third film. Filming for the third film may take 6 months, just like Wonder Woman 84. Do you hope the third film takes place in modern day? So let's tackle those two questions. Do you hope the third film takes place in modern day? And what do you think of the news of Wonder Woman 3 script already being written?
Yeah, I hope it's modern day. Hopefully it's like kind of the first Wonder Woman movie that takes place like after all the Justice League stuff. And yeah, I'd say that there's a bit of hesitancy going into this one. Like, I didn't hate Wonder Woman 84. I thought it was just like okay, but kind of like most people, I thought the wishing storyline was really lame for the most part, and I feel like they didn't do anything too creative with it. Like, even though they compare it to the monkey's paw, I don't think they actually followed the rules of the monkey's
Mm,
paw the way they should have. Like, the whole idea of the monkey's paw is that every time you make a wish, that wish backfires on you. But in this, it's like when you make a wish, someone gets screwed over, or you get screwed over in some way, shape, or form that's unrelated to the wish itself. I feel like that was like the biggest issue I kind of had with the script. And I think what might have happened is I feel like the first Wonder Woman movie, why that one was well written compared to the second one, is I feel like there's a lot more pressure. And maybe that's like the issue is that maybe Patty Jenkins is a writer that does a lot better under pressure. And, when you look at Monster, it's a movie that was a passion project for her. So, of course, there's a lot of pressure there. Wonder Woman, people were kind of losing faith in the DC movie universe, so a lot of pressure there. Wonder Woman 2, I think everyone was going into this movie expecting it to be great. And I think because of that lack of pressure, made her kind of think, whatever, it doesn't, no one's going to care too much about this. So maybe going into this movie, there might be a little extra thought that kind of goes into what they're trying to say with this movie going forward. I'm definitely going to give it a watch. I'll be open to it, but I'm not as excited going into this one as I was going into Wonder Woman 84.
yeah, I can definitely understand that as far as not being super excited. I am with you in the sense that I do hope that it takes place during modern day. It would be really great to kind of see her during the current time after we've been traveling with her in the past. So I do hope it is modern day. As far as am I hesitant? I am hesitant. I don't know if I'm as hesitant um, as I am after Wonder Woman 84 just because Jeff Johns isn't on board. And I just feel like there are some moments in Wonder Woman 84 where I can feel like, yeah, that's a Jeff Johns script. Yeah, that's a Jeff Johns moment sort of thing. And so uh, him not necessarily being on board does kind of make me feel a little bit better. But I've never really known Patty Jenkins to be known for her writing, more or less for her directing work. Even though she did write Monster, and I think that I can't remember if she won an Oscar or not for that, or maybe she was nominated. I don't know. But just seeing her IMDb, she doesn't have a lot of writing credits, like five. If she's got like two shorts she's written. She wrote Monster. She did the screenplay for Wonder Woman 84, and now she's doing Wonder Woman 3. So again, not a lot of writing stuff on her docket.
Wait, so she didn't even write the first Wonder Woman movie?
She didn't even write the first Wonder Woman movie. No.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
No. Let me see who did write. Writer for Wonder Woman. So the first Wonder Woman movie, something tells me it was like Alan something. Writer for DCEU Wonder Woman movie. Let me see if it brings it up at all. Um, yeah, it's not giving it to me, but it definitely is not her.
Oh, Zack Snyder helped write it. There were three
Three
writers:
writers, right?
Zack Snyder, Alan Henberg, and Jason. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but it looks like it's pronounced Fuchs or Fuchs.
Maybe Fuchs.
F
Maybe
yeah,
Fuchs.
Fuchs. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
it might be Fuchs. Um, so again, when they tell me, "Hey, Patty Jenkins is gonna be working on Wonder Woman 3," I'm all on board with her being the director for this movie. And yes, it does cause me a little bit of hesitancy because of the fact that she helped write the second one, not the third, not the first one. My thing is, I would like her to have some help. I would
Mhm.
like to have maybe another writer on board with her, another writer or two on board with her to help her flesh this out. And she works mostly as director. That's personally what I would like to see. So, is there some hesitancy? Yes. Is it as much as it was for Wonder Woman 84? No, but I can say I'm probably not as pumped for the end of this trilogy as I probably would have been. And it does make me want to ask another question, Stuart, outside of this. The recent idea that for Star Wars that Rogue Squadron had been taken off of the schedule. And I do wonder if this recent news of Patty Jenkins working on Wonder Woman 3, I do wonder if the schedule for Wonder Woman 3 had gotten bumped up, and maybe now it's forcing Patty Jenkins to have to wait longer again. I feel like the schedule for her has been kind of back and forth. And so that's one of the reasons why I think Rogue Squadron is no longer on the schedule to drop in theaters. I don't think it's completely done. I think, if anything, they're just waiting on Patty, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
It's probably a good theory. Not sure. Like, when it comes to Star Wars, I feel like they're always kind of changing up their schedules.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the reason of why she's doing Wonder Woman 3 and seemingly not really talking about much with Star Wars Road Squadron, it's hard to say if it's because like Disney decided they want to reschedule stuff just out of pure randomness, or if it's specifically because of Wonder Woman 84 and them being a little more hesitant to have her on as a head writer.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And yeah, I actually don't think she's writing the Rogue Squadron movie, which actually makes me feel very comfortable. I know that she's doing the directing work, but I think when she made the announcement, I think she also mentioned that she knew who was going to write the script, but she wanted him to make his announcement for him being the writer. So I will be thankful if she does not write the Rogue Squadron movie.
Mm.
All right, we got this other question. This has been edited, but it don't give me anybody's name. That's cool. That's a mystery writer. What are your thoughts of Power Rangers RPM, and what other seasons of Power Rangers feel like an homage while being its own thing?
Oh, the first one that kind of comes to mind is SPD kind of being like an homage to Men in Black, and then like just kind of other sci-fi shows where it's like future cops, pretty much.
Hmm. Yeah. As far as my thoughts on RPM, man, I loved it. I was a big fan of RPM. I mean, goodness, some people have it as like their top three, if not their best Power Rangers series ever. So, yeah, there's a lot to certainly be said.
I think it's my personal favorite. It
Yeah.
balances like being having some of the darkest moments in the show, but also having some really good laughs too.
Yeah, the humor was pretty great in there. I don't think I've laughed as hard in a season as I did with RPM sometimes. We got Chris Crossman in the house. What do you think of the first two seasons of Cobra Kai? Did it ever feel like Daniel was the bad guy and not Johnny during the first season? And if there was a sixth season, how do you think there would even be a Cobra Kai dojo, knowing from the cliffhanger? Seems like there's only one last story to tell with a certain someone who had not yet made her return. It looks like he's hinting at good old Hillary Swank, which I've been saying, look,
Mhm.
y'all need to get Hillary in here for at least this final season. Her connection to Miyagi alone should be enough to go ahead and bring her in, especially if Cobra Kai is meant to be really a celebration of Miyagi and the actor, that played him and stuff. So I really hope so. I really hope that she comes. Now, I haven't finished season 5 as of yet. The girlfriend and I are slowly making our way through this season. I don't know why it's taking us so long to get through this season, but I've enjoyed it for the most part. There are some issues I feel like they've done better, but the first couple of seasons of Cobra Kai, absolutely loved it. And yeah, I always love the idea of how they give Daniel just more personality to him. Like he's not a kid anymore; he's an adult. He's got several different feelings that he didn't have in high school anymore. And so there are definitely times when I feel like they've shown Daniel and Johnny in this season, at least the first couple of seasons, that made me roll my eyes and be like, Daniel, stop being such a dick to this man. Like, come on, bro. So they definitely show a different side to Daniel, I personally think. But what do you think, Stuart?
Yeah, when things are going really good for Daniel, and I can kind of think it's like that for a lot of us. We tend to forget that just because things are going good for you doesn't mean they're going good for everyone. So I feel like that's the main thing that he forgot with Johnny, as like they have that first scene that's so hard to watch where the two of them meet again, and he's kind of being a bully without realizing it, which I
Yeah.
just thought was so brilliant. As for that character returning, let me just say this, man. Tori has mentioned her mother so many times, but not once have we heard her mother's name, and not once have we seen her face. And I feel like if there is ever a clever way to write her into the show, there it is, right there.
What has she mentioned what her relationship was like with her mom?
Well, her mom's sick. Like she can't like we see her bedridden basically in season 6, but we don't see her face. So
Mm,
that's all we know about her is that she's sick. She can't get out of bed. She's kind of like Zach's
I
mother
forgot.
from the Power Rangers movie.
Ah, okay, yeah, I forgot. Oh, dude, that would be crazy. That'd be
Mhm.
crazy if that ended up being Hilary Swank's character as her mom. But man, now you got me hoping, man. I hope that comes to fruition, Stuart. I hope that happens. Adrian Perez, he says, so I just finished watching part 2 of Dino Fury and I was very blown away. The hype was definitely worth it. I really love that each episode felt very action packed while still continuing developing our Rangers. The season finale was amazing. I did not expect how the big reveal was going to be executed and the way the finale teased and ended off the cliffhanger for Cosmic Fury. Dino Fury has really been such a transformation compared to the entire Neil Saban era and really is one of the best series of Power Rangers in the franchise in general, as well as having one of the best and incredible finales. He says, my jaw dropped in a very incredible action sequence with Amelia. What do you hope to see when Cosmic Fury is actually here? And how do you want the season to come in with there no longer going to be international spoilers? I think this will be the first time in years that we can watch a brand new series without spoilers. So,
Yes.
yeah, what do you hope to see when Cosmic Fury is actually here, and how do you want the season to come in?
Um, man,
Well,
it's
I
a
will say,
long list for me.
while I haven't watched the all of Dino Fury yet, I do remember being well, I don't even call it spoiled. I just remember seeing a clip, or not a clip, a photo of Amelia in her pink ranger getup, and it looks like a huge explosion behind her. So I am really fascinated. But everything that people have said or teased about the finale sounds amazing. So I can't wait to dive in.
I really hope, and this might be hoping for too much because holy shit, did they put effort into that? But if they can somehow one up themselves after that final battle from Dino Fury, A plus for me right there. But again, that might be asking for a lot because holy shit, did they get I won't spoil it for you, but I'll say this, like it's not the best looking for like the type of battle that we see, but given the budget and given just like how much like you can tell they really thought it out, it's pretty freaking amazing. And so if we can get something like that again in Cosmic Fury, yeah, I'll be super happy.
And I think Simon Bennett has talked about the idea. I mean, they also have the Alpha Stunt team currently in New Zealand that have been working really heavy on a lot of their action pieces. And knowing that when we come into Cosmic Fury, we are going to have less Super Sentai footage and really no Sentai footage being utilized for the fight sequences. All the on ground fight sequences will be original, and he's flaunted the idea of that Alpha team getting an opportunity to really show what they're made of and what they're capable of. So, you might just get your wish, Stuart. You might just get your wish, man. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we've answered this question a few times though, as far as like, what do you hope to see when Cosmic Fury is actually here? I just want originality, man. Like if I just really want to see what they do without having to worry about being hindered by anything else. uh, yeah, that's pretty much all I really want to see is when you tell me it's going to be mostly all original footage with the exception of Zord fighting. I really want to see what you can do on Netflix of all things in 10 episodes. And I think they know exactly what they're doing.
Also, I think I mentioned this before with one of my favorite things in Dino Fury. I hope they kind of continue casual conversations because Dino Fury
Ah,
feels like the first season since the Disney era where like characters can just talk to each other and it doesn't necessarily have to be plot related. It's
right.
just kind of like to help either help the characters evolve or help us as an audience get to know the characters a little bit better, and then also see what kind of cool character chemistry there is. I hope they bring that back in Dino Fury too.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I am will be curious to see how they manage to pull that off in the 10 episodes that they do. I feel like some of the interviews that we've seen so far of the team when they talk about coming back to Cosmic Fury is just how much some of their characters change. Or some of the character arcs that you'll see them on within the 10 episodes. I think like even Kai, who plays Ollie, talks about a big transformation of for the Ollie character going forward. So it'll be interesting to see how they do change with the limited episodes that we have. Next question is from Francois. You may want to answer this one, Stuart. He does say a spoiler question for Stuart. So, Adam, if you have not watched part two, take your headphones off. So,
All
if
right.
you want to address this, once you're done, just go like this, and I'll
Just go
put
like
my
that. Yeah.
yeah, I'll do it.
All right. You know how Saban's leadership during the entire Neo Saban era of Power Rangers caused a lot of nonsense. What did you think of the episode Morphin Masters when the Morphin Masters took the blame for all the things that went wrong during the Neo Saban seasons? Even the legendary battle in Super Mega Force, which the writers we've had in Dino Fury since Dino Charge were never part of both seasons of Megaforce. Okay, so I actually made a meme about this because I based it on the Simpsons episode where essentially during like a comic convention you had Lucy Lawless and you had the nerd guy from the Simpsons basically asking a weird question about a continuity error, and Lucy Lawless just kind of saying every time you notice something like that, a wizard did it. So that's kind of what I gathered from the Morphin Masters episode. It was kind of like the writers making a cheat code for themselves, being like, anytime you notice like a continuity error or something that just doesn't quite add up, the Morphin Masters did it. And I think that's hilarious. And I feel like only a universe like Power Rangers or DC or Marvel can get away with something like that. So personally, I thought it was funny. I could see some fans calling it a cheap cop out, and they're not 100% wrong. I personally didn't mind it, and I think it fits the world of Power Rangers very well.
All right, cool. Thank you for answering that question, Stuart. And let's move on. We got three questions left, it looks like. We got Ram Jam. Hey, Adam, I hope you and your family are doing well. My question: what do you think about the two separate Power Ranger projects coming from Hasbro? Have you seen the teaser trailer for the Super Mario Brother movie? So, yeah, to answer your question, the second part of the question, yes, we definitely have seen the teaser trailer for Super Mario Brothers. We definitely talked about it on Sunday. It was actually our last topic for the day. It's funny, Stuart. We gave Chris Pratt some crap yesterday for just the two lines, but I tried to cover us at least by saying, look, these are just two lines out of a trailer. We haven't had the opportunity to see the full scheme of what it is that Chris Pratt and them certainly have in mind. So we'll definitely have to see if it gets any better. And this morning I saw we had a comment from Marcelino that was like, it's funny that you guys were so supportive of the idea of Chris Pratt getting the voice role before we saw the trailer. And then when we actually heard his voice and saw the trailer, how much we crapped on him. And I said, well, hey, you know what? It's just because we have new information now, right?
Yeah.
Like we had our mindset as to what we were hoping that things would certainly go well in regards to it. He's a very talented dude. We can't act like he's certainly not. But when you've got new information and new details are presented to you, I think it's pretty mature and grown up of us for our minds to change also and our opinions to change as new information comes, right? Or am I
Yeah.
tripping?
Yeah, no, I agree. I do try to keep in mind when I know that I'm changing my mind about something, or if I'm like contradicting myself, I always try to remember that. But I slip up every now and then and I forget like my opinion was something completely different before this. But yeah, it happens. We're humans, and as us being humans having human brains, they tend to change quite a bit.
Yeah, but so we'll see what happens when it comes to the Super Mario movie. It doesn't mean I'm gonna stop watching Chris Pratt movies. But I'm definitely gonna maybe temper my expectations a little bit until we certainly see more. But I am hyped for the idea of a Super Mario movie. The animation and visually, like we talked about, the visuals look amazing, and the humor is definitely there. So it should be a fun movie regardless.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, what do you think about the two separate Power Ranger projects coming from Hasbro? Yeah, I'm pumped for them, man. I'm pumped for them. I'm just glad that despite all the hiccups that we thought was gonna happen, that they are still gonna go ahead and spoil us. I've definitely I feel like there are some people that feel some type of way, Stuart, that it's Steve and Catherine coming back and not some of the other OGs. Does that bother you? Does that make you feel like it's not going to be as special?
Um, I don't think I wouldn't say it bothers me, but yes, if I had to personally choose, of course I would have preferred it be Jason and Kimberly returning, but at the same time, it's I'm not gonna like be like, oh, the whole thing's ruined because I didn't get my team back. I'm cool with who they got back. Nothing wrong with Rocky, nothing wrong with Cat. I think they both did really good in their roles when they were in Power Rangers. And in fact, I can honestly kind of see the argument for Rocky even being the fact that when you look at the original '95 Power Rangers movie, it wasn't Jason who was the Red Ranger, it was Rocky. And I mean, I know they had Kimberly as the Pink Ranger, but let's face it, Amy Jo Johnson definitely seems like she's kind of done with like she's been done with Power Rangers ever since she left the show. So her not coming back also to me makes plenty of sense. So, yes, I would prefer them, but I don't mind having Rocky and Cat at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in the same category, but yeah, I'm just thankful Hasbro's given us two projects. So
Yeah,
talk about a great way to celebrate the 30th anniversary, I think.
for sure.
Let's see here. Kurt Marino, what do you think of the rumors of Henry Cavill possibly returning to the DCEU? Do you think Warner Brothers have decided to give Henry one more shot at playing Superman again, especially during the merger situation? If he were to show up in the Black Adam movie, could he be the same Superman we saw in the Justice League movie Snyder Cut, and maybe he already had a child with Lois Lane? I remember Lois was pregnant during the Justice League film. Um, I mean, I do believe that he is going to be the same Superman. I'm under the impression that this all takes place under the same Earth. I mean, I know we talked about it Sunday, Stuart. When The Rock says on this planet, I brought up the ideas like, well, maybe he's on like a different Earth or something like that. Maybe it's like a multiverse idea, and Black Adam's not even on the same Earth that the Justice League movie and events took place. But I think I'm leaning towards your point of view in the sense that Kal-El's not from this particular Earth, right? He is from Krypton, so maybe that's what the Dwayne the Rock Johnson certainly meant. But I am under the impression it's the same Superman and nothing has changed. Um, and yeah, I do think that they're going to give Henry Cavill one more shot. Like for me, for I will say this, for me, if the reports were true, it blows my mind that we even need Dwayne the Rock Johnson to convince Warner Brothers to go ahead and pull the trigger to get Henry Cavill back. As big of a star and as high in demand as Henry Cavill certainly is, and as much as he's beloved by people to play Superman, like you really needed to get your arm twisted and like really rolled over by the Rock in order to bring him back. There's a part of me that's like there's a part of me that wants to think Warner Brothers Discovery is smart enough to retain Henry and bring him back on their own, but I certainly could be wrong in that regards. So we'll have to see how it all plays itself out. But yeah, I hope he stays. I hope they continue to push forward. And if you ask me, I think you keep these characters or these actors playing who they are until you can get yourself a solid reboot plan or story in place to do some recasting. And I think that's maybe what they have decided to do going forward.
I say David Zaslav has done a lot to like really piss off DC fans, and
Yeah.
so the very least that he could do to be like, oh, I swear we're gonna make up for it going forward. The very least you could do is give the fans what they've been asking for a long time. Actually, so for the question, I think what he might have meant was, is it going to be the Superman from the Snyder cut or the Superman from the Whedon cut?
Oh, from the Whedon cut.
unfortunately, I'm leaning more towards the
The
Whedon
weed
cut.
and cut. Yeah.
Yeah, my head canon, like I said, I don't know if I've ever actually said this on the show. I'm not sure. My head canon is just that the Zack Snyder cut got erased after Crisis on Infinite Earths. That created, the Whedon verse, or the not. I'm not going to
Oh,
call that the Whedon verse. Sorry, but that created the Justice League universe where the Joss Whedon version of Justice League is canon, basically.
I dig the head canon. I dig it. That works for me. Although, look, I love me the Justice League by Zack Snyder, man. I mean,
Oh, I prefer that
God,
too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely prefer that. Blossom, you guys remember Masked Rider? Since Zordon says that the people of, oh my God, I'm gonna butcher this name, Edenoi,
Yep.
are intelligent artisan like people. How'd it be if Toma's counterpart could be Dex's grandson?
I actually have heard that people like kind of make this idea before, where if they ever adapted Saber, they could easily have it be like a direct tie-in to Masked Rider. And yeah, I like that idea, having it be like he hasn't been the Masked Rider in so long, so then Toma's counterpart, like the new Common Rider, takes up his grandfather's mantle, or maybe not even grandfather. It could honestly just be father son type of a thing, because I don't think it's been that long since Masked Rider has aired. So, but yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I kind of dig it, Blossom. If you guys had a morpher, which one would you have?
Ooh,
Y-
all the
I'll
morphers.
I'll answer this one real quick. Just because I love the hand motions for it, and even though I hate the series, Turbo. There was something cool about fucking the wheeling and the fucking putting the key in your thing.
Yeah,
Something about it I absolutely love.
I I almost want to say turbo, just because I do love the phrase shift into turbo, hence where I got the name Turbo Stew. It's not because I love the name, or it's not because I love the season Power Rangers Turbo. It's because I freaking love their morphing sequence and their catchphrase shift into turbo. Um
Yeah, I
so
always
but
dug it.
but since that's your answer, I'm gonna go with Jungle Fury. I would love to have glasses that I can just press inside of
Yeah,
and then suddenly morph into a ranger. So
those are pretty
that'll be
badass.
my choice, Jungle Fury.
And I'll even go so far as SP. I'll even just an honorable mention SPD. The Sixth Ranger, didn't he have the
Yeah.
bike handle that he would rev up, sort of thing? Psh, yeah, man, give me that all day too. That's another one I was a big fan of. All right, Blossom. I think that wraps it up for all of our live viewer questions today. So thank you very much, guys, for everybody certainly coming through with their questions. Again, apologies we couldn't get to everybody's, but we certainly don't mind making an additional video for you guys this week, especially if we have the time, and we just keep continuing to blow up more and more viewers each and every week, guys. So thank you very much for continuing to view our videos. Remember, if you love our content and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button along with that bell notification, so when we do drop a brand new video, you will certainly be notified. And definitely feel free to submit your live viewer questions over each and every week, and we'll definitely get to them at A Plus Hero Report. But Stuart, if people want to reach you on social media, sir, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at TurboStew01 over on Twitter.
And if you guys want to follow us on social media, right up here at the top, A Plus Opinions, very active over on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitch for you guys, and Twitter. So definitely go ahead and check us out there. But other than that, I think that's going to do it for us here. And we'll certainly see you guys later on this week. But until then, do me a big favor as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A Plus. We'll talk to you later. Bye.